In this video, we're going to write our first HTML code. But first, let's talk about the tools you're going to need to start developing websites. So I've got open here my favorite text editor. It's called Komodo Edit, and it's actually free. This is a text editor, not a word processor. You want to be careful to make sure you're using a text editor because a word processor will introduce extraneous formatting codes into your HTML, which will cause hiccups in the browser. You can download Komodo Edit if you want for free. Their website is activestate.com/komodo-edit. That's one free tool. If you already have a tool you prefer for text editing, you certainly can use that as well. I also recommend having a couple of different browsers on hand. And the reason for that is that oftentimes different browsers interpret HTML slightly differently. So here I've got Chrome. I've also got a copy of Firefox. And I've also got Apple's Safari browser, which is available for both PC and Mac. This way I can test my HTML scripts in several different browsers and make sure that it appears consistently from browser to browser. So here I'm ready to start my script in Komodo Edit. Now here in Komodo Edit, to start writing my first HTML script, I'm going to click File, New, and New File. And that'll bring up a brand new blank document. Now this document is exactly where I'm going to write my code. This code that I write will then be loaded into a browser where it'll be interpreted and displayed. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually save the file. So I'm going to click File and Save As. Now I'm going to be careful to save the file in a way that the browser recognizes it as an HTML file. So I'm going to save it here on my desktop, and I'm going to call it hello.html. Now once I call it hello.html, you'll notice the icon up here changes into a Chrome icon because that's the type of browser I have associated with HTML files in my system. So now we're actually going to write some HTML. Every HTML document starts the same way. It starts with a tag that says HTML. Now you'll notice if you're using Komodo Edit or some other text editor, it's going to try and assist you by completing your code. You can use that if you wish, or you can ignore it for right now. I can tell you as you get more advanced with your HTML development, you're going to find that to be a very, very useful feature. Okay, so now I have my opening HTML tag here and a closing HTML tag here. So every HTML document starts with an opening HTML tag, closes with a closing HTML tag, and all of our content is between. All right, so what I'm going to do now is actually continue writing some code. We have our document head, and we also have our document body. I'm going to go ahead in the document head, and I'm going to put a title tag. This is the title of the document that appears in the browser tab or the browser title bar, and also is used if the user actually saves your document as a bookmark. So I'm going to put Hello World. Hello World programs are commonly the first programs that developers write when they learn a brand new language. This goes way, way back to the 70s and was actually invented by the two guys, Dennis Carrigan and Brian Ritchie, who invented the C programming language. So Hello World is kind of a tradition among developers. So this makes the Hello World appear in the title bar or tab. Now in the body, I'm going to put another Hello World, just like that. So this Hello World will actually appear in the document window. So now I'm going to save the document just like that. You can either hit Command S or File and the Save key. I'll make a little room here on my desktop, and you'll notice I've got the hello.html file here on my desktop. So this is the HTML file. It's like any other file on your computer, except it's designed to open in a web browser. So we can open it in a web browser simply by taking one of our browsers. Let's go ahead and use Firefox for this. And in Firefox, we can open the file. So I'm going to click from the drop-down menu up top. It's kind of hard for you to see because of where the capture is permission, but I chose Open File. from the File menu. And here, from my desktop, I'm going to choose the file we just created called hello.html. When I click that and choose Open, notice the Hello World text appears in the browser window. So this is caused by this Hello World in the body on line 6, and this Hello World in the tab is caused by line 3 there in the title tags. Now I can open it in more than one browser and the results can be very, very similar. I also, if you're using Komodo, can open from here. So I have a browser called Opera. I'm going to open it there, and you'll see a very, very similar preview as the HTML is interpreted by the Opera browser. It takes Opera just a moment to open, and once it does, we'll see our Hello World file interpreted there. And we see Hello World both in the actual document window and in the tab bar for the browser itself. On most computers, we also could double-click the hello.html file, and it would open in whatever your primary browser is. So now we've written our first HTML script, which outputs Hello World into the browser.